It turns out, believe it or not, and it's happened a few times previously, but this is the first time you've got to say it, because I forgot to say it. But one of the books in this particular Flashback Monday is very, very hot right now. Think about that. I always say that the books I talk about in my favorite magazine with a naked guy on the cover is still hot and relevant today. You can still get these books. These books are still in demand. These authors are still writing. And if you found an author and it's a series and you've discovered it's 10 books in, maybe the first one's in here. Maybe the second one's in here. You can find out what they thought about the book when it originally came out. Right? The author's been out for several years. They got a following now. They get a little prestige. Maybe the critics, they find people that really like these books and this is the raw deal. This is when in the beginning, when there wasn't such a fandom. And these books are relevant today. They're still good today. Welcome to Flashback Monday. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no special editing, none of that fancy stuff going on here. And one of the books today is hot. Hot, hot. And the author... Shoot, sorry. I forgot to plug me in. So, before I forget, I was doing this the other day, and where's my other piece of paper? No, I lost my other piece of paper. Oh, there it is. I did this the other day, and I wanted to do it again. Now, so I just wanted to say, thanks to Z, I can't do credits like other people do, so I'm doing my credits now. Z and Selena and Tracy for watching all my videos and supporting me and giving me words of encouragement. Thank you, ladies, very much. I'm much appreciative. So, shall we get into our magazine here? We always start with Regency. And, I don't know why I didn't look for that. But, Joe Beverly, Seduction in Silk. I actually have this one. I need to get this one. That's what this magazine is doing to me. I've actually ordered it. I'm going because this was my series. And when I started writing my own books, and these were genealogical books, I was transcribing courthouse records. I was so busy, I was doing that 24/7 that I slowed down on my book buying. And now I regret the slow downing in my book buying because I'm going through all my series all through the house, and I'm like, oh shoot, how did I not buy that one? How did I miss that one? So, it's in my bucket list. Silk and Seduction. Oh, and I forgot to mention, well, I did mention that one of the books in here is hot. Hot, hot, hot. Which book is it? 4.5 stars, Seduction in Silk. With her talent for writing powerful love stories and master plotting, Beverly delivers the latest addition to her Mallory World series, and the Mallorins were a series I was reading. She incorporates an old family feud, a curse, and a bit of political intrigue along with a few characters from her earlier books. Peregrine Perryham enjoys the life he leads in London and has no desire to marry, but that changes when he is named heir to Perryham Manor. His cousin's will states that Perry must marry Miss Clarissa Mallow within the month and reside at the manor for 30 days each year. Failure to abide by these terms will result in the loss of Perry Manor to Perry's family, and the curse that bedeviled Giles will fall on Perry and his line. Unfortunately, Perry's first meeting with the rebellious pistol-waving Clarice doesn't go well. She likes her independence and has no wish to marry. After he explains the details of the will, she accepts his offer, and they have to start with friendship before things go forward. And there's always the initial meet, greet, get to know each other. Then they start maybe fall in love. And then there's always that last little twist at the end. That last little hurdle at the end of the book before we get to happily ever after. It seems to be the format for Regencies. Why Duke Say I Do? Amanda Collins. Yep. Amanda Collins. Oh, that red. 4.5 stars. Witty and smart, Collins' prose flows smoothly as she merges as a charming, compassionate love story with Gothic suspense. Collins again brings modern-day issues into the Regency period, compelling readers to identify with her three-dimensional characters. Lady Isabella Wharton survived an abusive marriage to become Belle of the Ball, so she wouldn't be difficult to follow her grandmother's orders and lure her grandson back to London. Trevor Corey, the new Duke of Ormond, has no interest in London society. He prefers to care for his Yorkshire estate. His sisters and their tenants Lady Isabella holds no allure, but he does agree to visit his grandmother. Surprisingly, a friendship blossoms between them, and Isabella is enjoying her visit except for the strange accidents and threatening notes she receives. Treasure is determined to uncover who is behind the trouble when they are caught in a compromising situation and just have to marry. I should add this to my compromising situation. Let me put this down here. Have to marry. I am forming for If Then a list of regencies where the two were caught in a compromising situation and it wasn't intended as a compromising situation and they have to marry. That's coming up over the summer. My If Then. Smoke, come here. What's up? What's up? Come here. Come here. What? Come here. 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 Meow. What? I haven't seen you all morning. You've been busy chasing Casanova. I'm still thinking about getting 2 little ones. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I don't have a nursery, though. The spare room is full of gunk. Not clean anymore. We'd have to go through it and clean it out. And then, even if we did that, the spare room was never... It was always the nursery, and then when everybody left the nursery, they picked a corner of the house that was their nook. Everybody socializes, but everybody has their own spot. So the nursery used to be a free and clear spot to use as a nursery. But the eldest child has made it his refuge. So the nursery is no longer available until the old man passes. And I'm hoping he'll be here for at least another 4 years. He's pushing 16 now. So, but will the girls be too old for little ones? And my little one could really use a playmate right now. Could really, really, really use a playmate. Smokey here, no way. But the little one, yeah. So we'll have to see. They'd make great videos, wouldn't they? And then comes marriage. Let's see here. And then comes marriage. 4.5 stars. The second of Bradley Worthington's books is an inventive, sexy tale, half romp and half emotionally satisfying read. Present readers with a pair of heroes to die for and a quirky Shakespeare-quoting family, along with a fast-paced and snappy dialect. Bradley is at her best. And I forget to mention, I only choose at least 4.5 and 4-star books. Every once in a while I throw in a 3, but most of the time I stick with 4 and 4.5 stars. This was a 4.5 star. Miranda Talbot is a free of stifling marriage, and as a lady of independent means, she's ready to take on courtship, especially if her suitor is the delightful Paul Worthington. He's witty, fun to be around, and sets her hearts aflutter. But Miranda has no idea that there's another man courting her, Paul's twin Castor. When each man discovers the other is after Miranda, they set out to find out who is the best man. Oh, alright. This is going under identity. Let's see. Identity and twins. They could fill 2 categories. And once upon a tartan. Now, normally, if we're talking about a tartan, there's usually green, right? We're pushing purple here. 4.5 stars. Burroughs creates a powerful story replete with a heartfelt emotion and rich characterization, pairing the love of a child and the understanding of honor and trust in a relationship. This tale of character growth is wonderful, and the resulting deep sigh for the reader that makes them an instant keeper. Ty Flynn is ordered by his father to travel to Scotland and bring back his long-lost brother's daughter, Fiona. Since Fiona's parents are on a holiday, her Aunt Hester is caring for her. Hester was unaware of Ty's impending arrival and is determined to keep Fiona safe and in Scotland. Hester has no reason to trust men, but she's always drawn into a friendship with Ty. By the time Ty is supposed to leave to bring Fiona to England, Heather is tempting Ty's marriage proposal. Fate brings her to Ty's mother's home, where she learns about Ty's past and his family problems. Okay. I don't know. I have to think about that. Michelle Willingham. To sin with a Viking? Naked? Nope. Oh, he's got clothes on. He's got clothes on. Four and a half stars. Oh, 875 Ireland. This is book 1 of Willing's new Forbidden Vikings duet. It's a tale of forbidden love, honor, and courage. 2 enemies must rely on each other for their survival. Karigo Banyan and her tribe are slowly starving to death. When a Viking ship is spotted, her brother decides to capture it and sell it for profit, which is how she ends up with a Viking prisoner. STYR had a great hope that a new land would mean a new beginning for his marriage, but before they could start anew, they were captured and separated. STYR is determined to find his wife and men and will keep GH at his side until he does. Neither is prepared for the passion it ignites. What the bride wore. Four and a half stars. Lee delivers the final bridal favors with flair, inviting readers to share in a delicious romance between engaging characters whose wit, passion, and intelligence drive the story. Grant Benton, Earl of Quarrel, has spent his 5 years working to reclaim his family's land. When he sells the last of the fabric mill's materials to Lady Irene Knott, he intends to resume his old, dissolute life. Lady Irene is proud of the business she and her friends built, but when problems arise with their finances, Irene suggested a ball to boost business. That is when she realizes Mr. Grant and the Earl are one and the same. They're like water and oil until Grant saves Irene's life and she nurses him back to health. Got to find the killer. There's always good when there's a mystery. It's always good when there's a mystery. Um, the devil of Clan Sinclair. Thanks. Well, I did have it. I mean, it's sitting right here in front of my face. The Devil of Clan Sinclair. Naked guy on the cover. And this has been through the ringer. 4.5 stars. 1869 Scotland. Filled with angst, passion, and suspense, Rainey's first Wicked Widow tale delivers a carefully plotted story. Though readers will either love or hate her characters, Rainey provides enough back and forth in the relationship to tug at heartstrings and keep the reader riveted. When her husband dies without an heir, Virginia Taylor, Countess Barrett, is desperate to find a way to save the family. Following her mother-in-law's advice, she rushes to her childhood sweetheart, McGrath Sinclair, made a fortune as an inventor and built a house for Virginia, yet she wed another. McGrath has no idea what she has suffered in the marriage her father arranged, nor why she has come to him. He doesn't care. She is in his house and in his bed. Their mutual seduction brings them joy. But after several weeks, Virginia runs off, leaving McGrath again. But this time he is not so quick to forgive. He and Virginia will have to learn that the power of love may be stronger than pride. Okay. Let's see. My Notorious Gentleman. I just love this magazine, and I'm so sorry they stopped publishing it. There it is. I just wanted to show it. There's both books, actually. It's the whole page. But this book has been through the ringer. I think we need to tape it. What happens with used books? But it definitely needs to maybe it'll turn up in an unboxing one day. It might. Who knows? This is gonna go on my list. My Notorious Gentleman. 4.5 stars. The men of the Inferno Club have made their way into readers' hearts before. None quite so smoothly as Lord Trevor Montgomery, a hero who doesn't believe he's worthy of the title until a very smart, innocent lady shows him the truth. Lord Trevor Montgomery, spy pirate seducer, buys a tumble-down estate in a quaint village after meeting the delightful, outspoken Grace Kenwood. Grace looks out for everyone but herself, and though the jaded Trevor should find that tedious, he delights in Grace's candor and the sweetness of her kiss. Grace has no illusions that the dashing Lord Montgomery will look in her direction. After all, every woman in the area has her sights on him. However, it's Grace he wants, so Trevor sets out to find the way to win Grace's heart. Men's Club. Let's put this down. You know how long it would take to go through all the books in my house to find these? This is easier. This is do it while I work. Okay. Well, now we're going to switch directions. Under a Texas Sky. Wait a minute. Is that here? Yep. I thought I saw it. Under a Texas Sky. 4 stars. 1932 Texas. Garlic is a masterful storyteller who recognizes what her audience craves and consistently delivers a sweet, nostalgic read that conveys the reality and romance of the era. As a child growing up on the rough streets of Chicago, Anna Finnegan dreamed of being a star. She gets her big break when she's cast as a lead in the Hollywood movie set to film on location in Redstone. Blacksmith Dalton Barnes isn't so sure about the strangers invading his town, and he has his own problems with the local thugs who hold him responsible for his father's gambling debt. Anna catches his attention the night she stumbles upon him at a brawl with the saloon owner's henchmen. When mysterious accidents of fire and a shooting plague the film set, Anna turns to Dalton for help in uncovering the truth. See? There's, when there's a mystery with the love story, it's good. I read Regencies by the dozen. But with other books, like with a contemporary romance or anything like that, there has to be a mystery with the romance. There has to be something else. And our final Regency, Not Just a Governess. It's a historical. Was that the other one on what was that one? I forget. Alright. Not Just a Governess. Historicals. Yeah, that's gonna drive me crazy. What? There was a historical. Excuse me. Nope, different book. Okay. So Not just a governess. Our historical there. 4 stars, 1817 London. This is book one of Mortimer's new series, A Season of Secrets. A jaded lord, a lady in disguise, a dastardly villain, and a whole lot of secrets will keep readers on the edge of their seats. Hmm. Um, Lord Adam Hawthorne is contemptuous of society, its rules, and its pettiness. He rarely ventures out among the ton, preferring to concentrate on his holdings and his small daughter. He avoids his grandmother's matchmaking schemes. After all, one wife was more than enough for him. However, there is one woman who intrigues him, the lovely widow, Miss Elena Lighton, whom he has hired as his daughter's governess. She arouses him. See what happens there. So, let's get on to mainstream fiction. The Other Side of Divine. Vanessa Davis Griggs. 4.5 stars. Griggs enraptures with the latest jewel in her Blessed Trinity series. This book contains extraordinary intrigue within each chapter. Paris faces her own marital dilemma. Does her unborn child belong to Darius instead of her husband Andrew? Darius's wife Tiffany puts him out of their home for affairs she knows about, but she can't put him out of her heart. Gabriel is finally preparing to marry her devoted fiancé Zachary. Her plans, however, do not include forgiving and boarding her paroled father. Wow, there's a lot of complications going on here. See what happens. Um, if you could see, it's got the good paper. When I always say that when publishers use the better paper, they know the book's going to be a good seller. If you could see what I see, it's a Christmas song, isn't it? 4 stars. Lamb's story is earnest, heartwarming, and at times heartbreaking. The frequent flashbacks create a well-rounded main character you will enjoy getting to know. Maggie O'Rourke is summoned home to save her family's business. Working alongside her sisters Tori and Lacey decides the best way to save the company is by throwing an event where employees talk about their favorite bras. Though each individual story, Maggie realizes how much the people around her have to overcome to get where they are. See? And Rose, to be Maycomer. Rose Harbor in Bloom. 4 stars. The second book in McComas series set in Cedar Cove has just the right blend of emotional turmoil and satisfying resolutions. Rose Harbor innkeeper Jo Marie Rose finds herself acting as a caretaker for her irascible handyman Mark Taylor, who has broken his leg and is housebound. Jo finds an odd comfort in spending time with him even as she struggles to accept her husband's death. The inn is too busy. Annie Newton has recognized her grandparents' 50th anniversary party and is dismayed that they are being chauffeured by Oliver Sutton, a man who dislikes even as she remembers his kiss. When Annie lets go of the past, the two explore the spark they felt. in the back of a limousine? I don't know. I was just asking. And that's the end of mainstream. There wasn't much there. Quite a few 3 stars in this one, but I only cover 4.5 stars, unless it's one of my authors or there's a special circumstance. I did it. There was a Daniel Steele while back, and just because it was Daniel Steele, it's like, even though it got a 2, I gotta read it. So I read it. And we are moving on to teen. And this is the other one here? Yes. What did I do with the other? Oh, it's over there. Colleen Hoover. She's still really hot today. This author is still going strong today. She's still very, very popular. And yet, this is August 2013, and we're still talking about her today. She's still out there. She still makes the bestseller list. She still has hot sellers. I'm telling you, this magazine would be fantastic today. So there are 2 books in here. Both, this is listed under teen. This got 4.5 stars. The final installment of the Slam series, told from Will Cooper's point of view, continues his and Lake's story. A good portion of the story centers on Will's perspective from the first book, Slammed. Prepare to be inundated with buckets full of emotion once the alternate storyline catches up to the present. The epilogue alone will send readers scurrying for their hankies as Hoover once again proves how supremely competent she is in arranging emotion from her readers. Will and Lake are on the honeymoon when Lake questions him about his perception of their early relationship. With reluctance, Will opens up to Lake and reveals his side of the story. His first thoughts and feelings from when they first met. Lake must react to a new revelation from Will's past. As the newlyweds starting out and siblings to raise, is the relationship already in peril? See what happens. And this other book is still massively hot today. Her current books are hard to get. You can get them though. They're still hot. They're still selling on Amazon and Barnes and all those places. And remember, this is 2013. This is 2013. And you are still looking for these books. You still want this book. There are readers. I did a thing on them the other day. And I've gotten more since. I should redo my thing from the other day. That was like a couple months ago. Because I've gotten more since. But this author is still in hot demand today. People still want her books. Remember, we're talking 2013, and I've been told that I should talk about new stuff. Well, how's this for you? Okay? This is a newer published volume. That's the first edition. Don't tell me my magazine isn't relevant today. We got a new cover. 4.5 stars. Selena's amazing fighting skills and strong personality don't win you over the latest of Maas's Throne of Glass title will. With assassinations, betrayal, love, and magic, this novel is something to watch everyone's interest. Without feeling cluttered, the action will carry you right to the end, leaving you eager for the next installment. After becoming the king's assassin, Selena is quickly fed up with the court politics. She tries to distance herself by focusing on the newly discovered love for Charles. But when he is kidnapped, she is prompted to action. Suddenly, no one is trustworthy, and she's forced to look for the one forbidden thing that just might save them all: magic. Still relevant. Still here. Still relevant. Still relevant. I just about died. I'm like, I know this author's. They're still talking about her today. Oh, and look, there's the. Let's do it this way. It's easier. You can see it. I'm telling you. Tell me this magazine isn't relevant today. Um, another author that's still massively relevant today. Midnight Frost, Jennifer Eastep. 4.5 stars. Eastep has done it again. Her happy fans will be delighted with this plot, which has action, drama, and romance. The Reapers are back and more dangerous than ever, and Gwen seems to be the only one who can stop them. But with Gwen's heart on the line, will she be able to focus? With danger around every corner, Gwen must try not only to save Logan, but also defend the Reapers once and for all. I'm telling you, these books are relevant. Jennifer Armentrout over there. Frigid. Naked guy on the cover. Oh, 4.5 stars. Jennifer Armentrout writing here as Jalen is a worthy addition to the new adult genre. Frigid is a welcome departure from some of the more world NA tropes. Sydney and Kyla are simply well-developed, realistic characters who just happen to have intercourse. Sydney always had feelings for her best friend, hottie Kyla. Kyla's had feelings, well, just about for every female on campus. Thinking of moving on with someone new, Sydney plans are derailed when she and Kyla are snowed in at a ski lodge. Ooh. I can see why that happened. And Charmed Vengeance. Susan Lazier. That looks like a steampunk. Yes, it's a steampunk. Hey, if you haven't seen my if then for steampunk, you should check it out. I wonder if I included her. I don't remember. 4.5 stars. If not, I'll have to redo my steampunk. Lasers Asler Chronic Titles is thrilling, non-stop read, picking up seamlessly from the first and moving forward with strong action and lots of angst. Her alternative 1901 is totally believable, and the strong-willed characters enhance rather than inhibit the story. Noel Braddock is devastated when her love Stephen is forced to break their bond. When her brother offers her a spot on his airship, she takes it gratefully. And Noel begins her new life. She finds that the ship she now calls home is actually acquiring magical artifacts in museums all over the world for a mysterious client. Moving on is tough as her old life will not leave her alone. She soon discovers that their benefactor is actually the very man who wants her and Stephen dead. Oops. Not good. Up. One more. Meg Cabot. Awaken. Let me see if I can find it. Purple. Let's see. 4 stars. In a wonderful conclusion to her abandoned trilogy, Cabot pairs strong characters with non-stop action that will have readers captivated from the very first page. The Lord of the Underworld is having a bad time lately. There's rumbles of disturbance no one understands, plus overcrowding and understaffing. Adding to his problems, the island sanctuary of one of the entrances to the underworld is directly in the path of a huge hurricane. The turmoil above ground is reflected below. When the Lord is lost in battle, his queen must rise to the surface and, with help of a handful of newly deported souls, fight for the truth so that they can be reunited. These souls will discover new loves and new roles, all while battling is waged at the peak of a hurricane. We'll see what happens there. There's a lot going on in that book. It seems like there's a lot been packed into that book. 8. Let's move on to inspirational. Um, Burning Sky. 4.5 stars. Burning Sky is a haunting, moving, and masterful story that poignantly captures the faith-fueled determination of a heartbroken woman who belongs neither in the land of her birth nor with the tribe that adopted her. Kidnapped by Mohawks 12 years ago, Willa Oberchain returns to the war-torn frontier hometown as Burning Sky. Instead of a loving homecoming, she finds her family's land abandoned, except for a wounded man clinging to life. Willa only wants a place where she can mourn her dead Mohawk husband and children in solitude. She can't allow herself to begin caring for Neil McGregor or the two half-native orphans her Mohawk brother brings to her doorstep. But when she discovers her embittered childhood sweetheart denounces her parents and Tories in order to seize their forfeit farm, Willa must fight for the land. Land is important. Um, Suzanne Fisher, The Letters. 4 stars. In a new series set in Stony Ridge, Fisher's characters are living the simple life or trying to, despite the hardships they are facing and learning how to adjust their way of life without compromising their beliefs. We get a glimpse of the few outsiders are privileged to see, with some surprises, twists, and turns. Rose Schrock has come up with what she believes to be the best solution to a thorny problem. She'll convert her basement into a B&B for people who need an emotional rest from their troubles. Her family is not very supportive, but she marches forward with the help of her understanding neighbors, Galen King. Can Rose pay off her late husband's death, or will her plan backfire? See what happens. Janice Thompson, icing on the cake. Oops. 4 stars. Readers will want to read this story with a full stomach or with healthy munchies nearby. Thompson describes food so deliciously you'll want to go out for and get food. Opportunities are appearing for Plum Bakery owner Scarlett Lindsay. Her new bakery, Let Them Eat Cake, is now open next to the infamous Rossi family's pizzeria. She gets to compete on the Food Network's Bake Off, and her love life hearts up. With two men vying for attention, motivated to shed weight fast, her need to control everything may have her getting rid of things. See what happens. Um, Sarah Sudin, Distant Shores. If anybody knows how to fix the lighting on this computer, let me know. Um, oh, there it is. 4 stars. The second outing, The Wings of the Nightingale Tale, is about two people on the front lines of war overseas doing what they can to keep their loved ones safe back home. Flight nurse Georgina Taylor loves what she's doing every minute, even though her family and boyfriend want her to resign and come home and live a quiet life. She meets pharmacist John Hutchinson, who makes sure there are ample supplies for the medical team. People don't often respect him as he is not in the military and he is where he is because of his family connections. Georgina and John cross paths frequently and they learn they have much in common. Both are promised to other people where they break up with the other people and get with each other. The story. Wait. Shall we move on to sci? See. I just saw this. Ugh. Emperor of Thorns. 4.5 stars. Lawrence ends his epic, majestically epic, and magical post-apocalyptic trilogy like it started, with bloody yet beautiful prose. He unwraps more clues to the path with dialogue that chills and characters you'd not want to meet in the dark or in your nightmares. In an empire whose builders have long since self-destructed but whose ghosts remain, King George set to claim the empty throne. This path, like the blast, is littered with bodies of his enemies. The purpose of his son has given his brutality a purpose. The life of his son is given his brutality a purpose, to bring his kingdom into a future better than that of its past. See what happens. Hill City Blues. 4.5 stars. You'd think by Katie's fifth Sandman the Slim novel, fans might be getting tired of James Stark's dark, biting humor and predilection for violence. But Kill City Blues proves that just isn't possible. After reigning as Lucifer, James Stark, known as Sandman Slim in Hell, is happy to be relieved of responsibilities. Now Stark is on the hunt for QOMRAMA, a holy weapon that, if ignited, will destroy the universe. Stark is sent on a wild goose chase to Kill City, an abandoned mega mall in Southern California inhabited by a variety of creatures. We did not get. I don't have a picture, but I will do it anyway. The book hasn't arrived yet, so we're just gonna go ahead and do it. Codex born Jim C. Hines. These are authors who write from mass potential, the hope to access the most readers in an attempt to further their reach and their readership. Hines is not that type of writer. He writes joyously for the delight of a specific market. Codex Born is what would happen if a group of fantasy fans were able to hole up in a room trying to develop a system of magic, saying, "But what if this happened?" So, Isaac is an unlikely hero because he doesn't see himself as a hero. An ancient magic, even more ancient than that of a Libro-Sea itself, threatens the safety and stability of the porters and the entire world. Isaac and Lena uncover more the secrets of his magic. The history of the world, as written by Hans Gutenberg and his printing presses, become more questionable. See what happens. Laura Gilman, Heart of Briar. 4 stars. You can always count on gifted Gilman to deliver richly layered fantasy filled with winning characters and well-defined worlds. She doesn't disappoint in Heart of Briar. John thought she had a life together with a good job and a good boyfriend with the relationship. Tyler, but suddenly things get seriously weird. First, Tyler disappears without a trace, and then Jan is approached by some very strange individuals. When Lupin, AJ, and Kelpie Martin introduce themselves, Jan initially thinks she's losing her mind. They soon explain that while humans and supernaturals like themselves belong in this world, the preternaturals don't. See what happens there. All right, on to mystery. See here. Erica Spindler. Justice for Sarah. 4.5 stars. Spindler's latest does a fantastic job of switching viewpoints and time periods, unraveling the mystery and revealing long held secrets. Kat McCall returns to her hometown of Liberty to seek justice for her murdered sister. Kat was acquitted of the murder 10 years ago when she was 17, but many of the townspeople still believe she's guilty, and someone is determined to keep her from uncovering the real motivation behind the crime. Sheriff Luke Tanner reopens the case that his father bungled a decade ago. Despite Luke's warnings to stay out of harm's way, Kate becomes involved in the investigation and confronts a killer who has a history of getting away with murder. Interesting. Um, hey, Faith, don't, don't think I have, why don't, oh, there's no special editing here. Oh, there we go. All right, did I get the wrong? No. The Beast. Faye Kellerman, 4.5 stars. Kellerman brings her long-running and consistently outstanding Decker Lazarus series to a close with another amazingly creepy and compelling novel. Though it's definitely a finale, she leaves wide open the possibility of new adventures in a new format. LAPD Sergeant Marge Dunn is not kidding when she calls Lieutenant Peter Decker to warn that they have a weird one. A horrible smell and strange sounds come from eccentric millionaire Hobart Penny's apartment. They find Penny's body and a full-grown Siberian tiger inside. Surprisingly, this tiger never harmed Penny, but someone did. The question is why. See what happens. Um, we will do this series. If you have not seen, there's a new Molly coming out. I think in March. You'll have to see my March releases video. But there's a new Molly coming out, so we'll be doing that soon. This is the other series, Royal Spyness. So we will get to these after we do Molly. 4.5 stars. Charming, witty, sassy, and brilliantly plotted, Boyd's latest Royal Spyness is perfect for steamy summer nights. Plucky Georgiana, 35th in line to the throne, is determined to find her own happily ever after. Georgiana and Darcy O'Mara have decided to keep their engagement secret, but Georgie is asked by the Queen and the Dowager Duchess to help a newly discovered Duke who's been raised in the Australian outback to fit into society. She and Jack Altrincham meet the new Duke's hostile family at Kingsdown Palace, and when the old Duke decides to declare his own heir, he winds up dead with Jack's blade in his back. But Georgie isn't buying that story. She needs to find out who really did it. Yep. And Chelsea Kane. Let me go. Kane, 4.5 stars. Kane continues her series in Detective Archie Sheridan, his sidekick Susan, and their nemesis serial killer Gretchen Laurel in this edge-of-your-seat thriller. The characters are mature and becoming more complex. With Halloween approaching, Gretchen's still on the loose, and a huge undercover drug sting unveiling, Archie's life is getting more complicated. Somewhat unwillingly, Archie and Susan attend a mass party on mobster Jack Reynolds Island, where both are in danger. When a dead body is found on a neighboring property and a video of Gretchen at the party surfaces, she's under suspicion. See what happens there. The Eye of God, 4.5 stars. With each new Sigma Force novel, Rollins reinforces his dominance as master of mixed intellecting research with a roller coaster plot. Commander Gray Pierce and his Sigma agents race to find the truth behind a series of strange occurrences and the receipt of a skull with ancient Aramic carvings and a book bound in human skull, allegedly belonging to Genghis Khan, a horrifying image of the eastern seaboard of the United States in ruins, and a mysterious project including a crashed satellite to uncover and stop a weapon that could destroy the future of all humanity. Not good. We don't want humanity destroyed. I like this lady. She does good. We talked about it during Halloween. A Vampire Bones and Treacle Scones, Kate Dunlap. I am starting to collect these books. Moose took a look. I've done some of the series already. We've got to do. We'll do more. We'll do more. Moose took a look. I like Moose took a look books. I started some of these. I have to go check how many I've read them. 4.5 stars. Newly married Scottish Emporium owner Liz returns in a Hollywood-themed mystery. Good plot construction and a clue layering provide a good place to find nail-biting conclusion. Lisa is thrilled to be helping Mustigalek's Hollywood Festival and fundraiser. The old Chadwick mansion, once owned by notorious gangster Blackie O'Hare, will make the perfect haunted house for the festival. Rumor has it that Blackie burned victims and money on his property. When Liz noticed strange lights on the mansion and missing items, she suspects someone has been sneaking into the... I did do this book. I did do it. Go check out my video for this book. I know I read this book. I know I did it. I know I did it. I don't know if I read it before I started the videos or not, but I have read it. I have to go check this out. To add it to my list. I know I've read that book. I know I've read it. I'm almost positive I did a video on it. We'll have to go check, but I'm pretty sure I did. Murder and Thrall. In Cleveland. 4 stars. Unsuspected villain and atypical protagonist lull the reader into the startling and eerie conclusion of this fascinating first series. Kathleen Doyle is a first-year detective who is recruited by the mysterious Chief Inspector Lloyd Acton for her intuitive abilities during investigation. A disturbing group of murderers puts them in the field together, but the different pathology of the cases has them stumped. As the investigation proceeds, so does their personal relationship. Oops. See what happens there. Ready to Die. For her newest to die thriller, Jackson heads back to Grizzly Falls, Montana, and the complicated lives of Detective Reagan Pascoli and Selena Alvarez. The danger and menace in this dark and edgy book gets all too real. The entire police force is shocked when a sniper shoots Sheriff Dan Grayson, leaving him in a coma and near death. Is this a personal or professional grudge? Pascoli and Alvarez have to put emotional aside and try to narrow the suspect and motive. Things get more complicated when they discover that the local judge has been shot and killed at her cabin. Oops. All right, all right, all right, all right. You know, we'll have to do this book on video one day because the relationship between the two lead characters is hysterical. Um, oh, who does he remind me of? Rourke. It reminds me of Rourke, Eve Dallas's Rourke. Um, so I should do these. I did the other ones, but there's only. Oh, I've got them covered up now. Um, 4, 5, 6. Can't tell I put a book in front of them. I stood the other one up. But this is the first. I think this is the first. Um, sorry. Um, this was she's a she's a FBI. She FBI. What does it say? She's FBI, and he's a thief, a very skilled thief, and the relationship. It's a little. It's a little Stephanie Plum. She she has a little of Stephanie's Stephanie. You know, all the fans have said after 30 books, Stephanie should be a little bit better at her job. She has that. She's a little bit better than Stephanie, but not much. A couple of steps higher than Stephanie. But she meets this thief, and he's just all sexy and hot, and he can talk himself into any situation and twist it to fit him just like a glove. And he ends up making himself an FBI consultant. It's a trip. They're light reads, they're short reads, and we should do them for a series. There's only like 6 of them. Um, The Heist. Janet Ivanovich and Lee Goldberg, 4 stars. The con is on in this humorous and action-filled launch book in a new hot series from Ivanovich and TV writer Goldberg. The white-collar-esque tale has a dogged FBI agent trading standard operating procedure for high-stakes, high-concept operations plotted by her con artist nemesis. For 5 years, FBI Kate O'Hare has been on a mission to capture international con artist Nick Fox. She finally gets him by ramming his car with a bus, but things don't go exactly as planned. Nick cons her bosses into allowing him to work with Kate to bring down other criminals. I'm serious. It works. It's a good story. They're cute, light stories. You need a beach read. You need a beach read. Here you go. Here's your beach read. Um, I should have ended with the heist. I was supposed to end with the heist, but I forgot this. I skipped over it. Um, on 4 stars. Rosenfeld demonstrates again that he's a master storyteller in this immensely enjoyable new Andy Carpenter novel. His writing is crisp, his plot unfolds at a rapid clip, and his characters are people you'd like to hang out with. Criminal defense attorney Andy Carpenter's new case is brought to him by his friend and accountant Sam Willis. One of Sam's friends, Barry Price, wants to hire Carpenter for reasons unknown. Soon after, Barry is killed in a small plane crash. Authorities determine that he is incapacitated prior to the crash, and his death is ruled as murder. Sam was supposed to be on that plane too, but it's up to Andy to figure out why someone wanted to kill both men. See what happens. That is the end of Mystery Let's move on to romantic suspense. Midnight Games. 4.5 stars. When it comes to a dark and gritty romantic suspense, it is not taking Kennedy long to carve out her own niche. First introduced in the previous books, Master of Disguise Isabel Roma and tragic mercenary Trevor Callahan take center stage in this newest Killer Instincts novel. Widowed mercenary Trevor Callahan is finally ready to let go of the past and move on, and he has every intention of doing that with sexy chameleon Isabella Roma. An operative with a rival organization, Isabel has her own issues, but when a devastating attack is launched against Jim Morgan's mercenaries complex, she is ready for vengeance. Who attacked them and why? More ominously, Jim himself is missing. Isabel and Trevor are going to need to join forces to find out the truth behind the attack. See what happens there. The Last Goodbye. Karen Robarts. The second book in Robarts' quite usual Charlotte Stone suspense series picks up exactly where the last victim left off. A departure from her previous novels, this is a combo of suspense, supernatural thrills, and a touch of romance. Having finally stopped the serial killer she escaped as a teen, Dr. Charlotte Charlie Stone is hoping for some peace and quiet. But as she returns home, she is confronted with the ghost of a convicted serial killer, bad boy Michael Garland. Since ghostly Michael saved her life, Charlotte is conflicted about his hanging around. But that takes a back seat when a terrified young woman pounds on the door. According to the woman, she escaped from a homicide maniac who directed her toward Charlie's house. Is this the work of the gingerbread man? We shall see. Revenge. I never did look for the. I know one of the magazines had a full page spread, but I forgot to look. Four and a half stars. Webb's Faces of Evil series just keeps getting better and more intense as she keeps revealing more facets of protagonist Jess Harris past. Dark, edgy, and yet vulnerable, Jess is a complex character with multiple phobias in her personal life, but a single-minded dedication to the job. 10 years ago, five offspring of Bingham's most wealthy and powerful families ruled the school, mostly with cruelty, but when a pre-graduation night party ended in suicide of one of the school geeks, it nearly splintered the group as they submerged their secrets. Now someone is picking off the five one at a time. Though all evidence points to an oldest classmate with a grudge, Jess and her team are still uncovering clues and trying to keep someone else from dying. Let's see what happens there. Um, Four and a half stars. The name Garwood is synonymous with stories that are packed with danger, passion, and humor, all which combine in an outstanding reading experience. The horrors of sexual harassment are taken to a dangerous extreme, as this heroine's decision to fight back could cost her her life. When they were kids, Finn McBain saved Peyton Lockhart from drowning. He went later on to win the Olympic gold in swimming. These days, Finn is an FBI agent and Peyton has just quit a job where she was sexually harassed. She has evidence and is thinking about taking action when her Uncle Len offers Peyton and her sisters, Lucy and Ivy, a proposition. If they can make a profit at the Bishop's Cove's oceanfront resort, they will own it. The sisters know it will be a challenge, but they are game. However, on her way, Peyton's car is shot at. Not sure what to do, Peyton contacts Finn for help. Finn is infuriated by Peyton's story and determined to help. What he doesn't expect is to find that little Peyton has grown up to be sexy. Okay. So let's move on to contemporary romance. Okay. Contemporary romance. Ah, dude, hold on. Okay. It would help if I read my own notes. Okay. 3 little words. 4.5 stars. Ah, shit. Let me bring this. Okay. 3 little words. 4.5 stars. Hot on the heels of last month's drama, Mallory turns to Fool's Gold to give not only lucky readers former SEAL Ford Hendricks' romantic comeuppance, but also that of his brother Kent. With twice the romantic action, this book is a dynamic read filled with humor, compassion, and sexy sizzle. When her older sister dumped Ford Hendricks and he left to join the military, lovelorn Isabel wrote Ford letters for years. Now she's grown up and temporarily back in Fool's Gold. Ford's mother is desperate to get her son settled, so she takes applications from prospective wives. Applications? Feeling cornered, Ford begs Isabel to be his fake girlfriend to ease the pressure. Isabel's luck in romance department has been pretty dismal, so she agrees. So, here we go. That was the full spread in last week's. Um, Wedding Bells. I think so. Best Albrecht. There you go. I wish I knew how to fix this. My computer's lighting issues. 4.5 stars. The sassy bells are back and sassier than ever. These steel magnolias just show us what it's really like living as a Southern belle in a cradle-to-grave football town. With clever dialogue and richly drawn characters, Albright shows once again she's a natural-born storyteller. Blake O'Hara's Hart's best friend Vivi Ann is 7 months pregnant and getting married to a man of her dreams. Lewis Hart is also the star announcer of the Alabama Crimson Tide. However, when a psychic warns her that Lewis has another woman in his life, Vivian soon discovers he's already married. If he's that popular with football, you think the public would know. Was she in the dark herself? Fiancé by Friday. The trouble with white covers, they just don't show up. 4.5 stars. In this fantastic weekday brides installment, Bybee knows how to keep readers happy. A romantic tale featuring a thrilling pursuit and enough passion to stuff in your back pocket to last for a few lifetimes. Fiancé by Friday is reminiscent of The Bodyguard, but the way better because the story embraces unique personalities and they do not impede the plot. Lady Gerwin Harrison moved to America to take over her sister-in-law's elite matchmaking business. Almost a year later, she's still struggling to find independence and love. She flirts with retired Marine Neil McBean, head of her late father's security team, and essentially her bodyguard, but he doesn't reciprocate her playfulness. She'll have to make the first move. Ooh. See what happens. Flirting with Texas? Naked guy on the cover. Ah, 4.5 stars. Lane's fifth Deep in the Heart of Texas story is complete success, blending humor, innovative characters, and a wonderfully quirky town with an unlikely touchy love story. Her insight and humor are pitch perfect, making the sizzling chemistry between her leading couple a constant surprise and a delight. Bureau Guard Cates left Texas for New York hoping to outrun memories of his past and sow a few wild oats. He doesn't expect to get roped into locating a fellow Texan. Jenna J. Scogins left her hometown of Bramble and her parents' disapproval to move to New York and fight injustice in all its forms. But when she ends up a runway Central Park carriage with Bo, she begins to pine for Texas again, or at least one Texan. Just in time. Addison Fox. 4 stars. Fox latest is sharp, precise, funny, sexy, and sweet all at once. Roman Forsythe is back in his hometown of Indigo, Alaska, not too long ago after Avery Marks is freshly returned from her trip to Ireland. Past meets present, and Roman and Avery's long buried passion comes to life. Yet again, Avery can't completely forget Roman for leaving years ago and putting his career before a relationship. Roman wants another chance to prove his love, especially when there seems to be another man in the picture. And why did I skip that? Home to whiskey. Home to whiskey. Home to Whiskey Creek. No, 4 stars. Oh no, 3 stars. Sorry, I didn't realize it was 3 stars. Norek admirably attempts to tackle big issues: betrayal, survival, remorse, and redemption in her latest installment. But Home to Whiskey Creek's powerful messages are buried beneath too many pages of excessive angst. Oh, I guess we won't be rereading that one, huh? I didn't realize. I usually don't do 3 stars. Um, 15 years after being gang raped on graduation night, Adelaide Davies has reluctantly returned to Whiskey Creek. She'll help her ailing grandmother sell the family restaurant, and then she'll be gone forever. She's worked too hard to heal from that brutal night, which also claimed the life of one of her rapists, Cody Rockham. But now that she's back, the remaining men are determined to keep her quiet. Oops, not good. All right, let's go on the lighter side. Susan Anderson's Some Like It Hot. Naked guy on the cover. Anderson's second installment, Razor Bay Tale, arrives just in time for Hot Speech reading. World traveler Harper Somerville has come to Razor Island where she finds her niche, at least for the summer. Max Bradshaw, the rugged sheriff's deputy and former Marine, gives her hot flushes that have nothing to do with the weather. That's cute. Um, I don't have a. Oh, there it is. Um, I don't think that's. Oh, there it is. 4 stars. Okay. Sanctuary Island. Lily Everett. Everett's newest novel is stirring. She skillfully blends the tender story of two daughters reuniting with their estranged mother with the love story of two emotionally closed people. While Ellie Preston's pregnant sister decides to reunite with their estranged mother, she only goes along to help clean up the inevitable mess. Ella plans on toughing it out until sexy handyman Grady Wilkes arrives. When Grady is tasked with showing Ella around the island and helping her find peace that helped healed him, they're unprepared for their attraction. All right. So let's move on to paranormal. Let's see. Sarah Humphrey, tall, dark, and vampire. Naked guy on the cover. The first book of this new series by Humphrey shines fascinating new characters as well as appearance from her Amivo series. Humphrey switches it all up with female vampire coven. Leader Olivia Hollingsworth is a strong woman who has been around for hundreds of years and knows how and when to take charge. Vampire Olivia Hollingsworth is the leader of an all-female vampire coven headquartered in her New York City nightclub. Then the body of a young man turns up and detectives start asking questions. Detective Doug Paxton is investigating the murder when he meets Olivia. He feels that he knows her from somewhere else. Olivia is stunned to see the love of her human life, Doug, in her club. How is this possible? She watched him be murdered years ago. Twins? Kelsey Crowe, McCrave. 4.5 stars. The always awesome Cole specializes in characters with truckloads of baggage, and like a Will McCreeve is a prime example. Ghosts from his childhood haunt Will as he blames himself for the destruction of his family. If you are in the mood for dark, slightly twisted, yet completely enthralling tales of sizzling paranormal romance, then this is the book for you. After being captured and tortured by the Order, the infamous Commander Webb, Will McCreeve is on the verge of welcoming death. That all changes when he's invited to auction. Chloe Todd is an Olympic caliber soccer player with no knowledge of the lore until the day her father gives her a book explaining the various races and then disappears. Oops. Um, Meljean Brooke, Guardian Demon. Guardian Demon. Naked guy on the cover. 4.5 stars. Good things come to those who wait, and at long last, readers are rewarded with their former head guardian Michael's tale. Brooke's legion of fans will certainly not be disappointed as she brings her remarkable Guardian series to an epic series finale. Oh, sorry, H. After she sacrificed her life, an angelic Andromeda Taylor was turned into an angelic warrior by Guardian leader Michael. Afterward, Michael bargained with the demon and was trapped in Lucifer's frozen field. But a connection with Taylor's mind has kept Michael alive. When the field shatters, that Michael escapes is more than demon angel. He terrifies Taylor, while meanwhile Lucifer is intent on breaking into the world that will take all the Guardians and their allies to stop him. The night is alive. Graham's 4.5 stars. Graham's books just keep getting better and better. In this installment of Q Hunters, the mystery is tangled up with the history of Savannah, Georgia, and a band of pirates, and the background makes the story that more enjoyable. The main characters are complicated and stubborn, and their mutual attraction is positively combustible. New FBI agent Abigail Anderson is called home to Savannah by her beloved grandfather Gus. When she arrives at her family historic tavern, she cannot find him. Abby sees the image of a gentleman pirate, Blue Anderson, and is directed to a tunnel where Gus lies dead. She sends a message to crew head Jackson Crow. P.I. Malachi Gordon has approached by the crews to join. As a test, they send him down to Savannah. As bodies start piling up, can Malachi and Abby stop a madman before it's too late? I knew I forgot something. Oh, I did not know. Oh, I am coming or going today. Oh, sorry. Oh, shoot. Did you hate it when there's one strand that hangs down? No, I'm having a really bad hair day. Let's get back to it here. Yes. There's an entire. Alright, fix this. Alright. See that entire row of Laurel K. Hamiltons? There's an entire row of this lady over there. Sherilyn Kenyon and Diana Love. Rise of the Griffin, 4 stars. Longtime fans of the Bellador series will have much to celebrate in the fearless Evelyn Kincaid's outing. Kenyon and Love write with each such heart and investment. Each scene has an intensity that will quicken the pulse and capture the imagination. Because the layers of this complicated plot only grow and develop, new readers would not be able to advise to start with this book, but start at the beginning. Like I said with the Fiona Buckley series. An alternate who has always lived on the fringes of Baldor, Evel Kincaid is at last given the chance to prove herself, but the cost might be more than she can pay. As a traitor within the Melba coven threatens everyone Eva holds dear, and a vicious power turns allies into enemies, Eva must use skill in her arsenal to prevent an all-out war. See what happens. I like the purple. Knight's Mistress. I have. She's over there. Amanda Ashley. Knight's Mistress. Another one that's got a. This magazine is waking me up. I'm going to look for. I know I have this author. 100% have this author, and I know I have this book. And I go over and go, oops. There's too many oops going on with this magazine. I'm spending way too much money. Where is. Wait a second. Knight's Mistress. Ashley is a go-to author for classic vampire love story that's never predictable. Knight's Mistress is the fifth in the series, but easily be read as a standalone. Mara has been a vampire for centuries, and she's been pursued by vampire and human alike. She's never allowed herself to fall in love. Kyle Bowen is immortal and the father of her unborn child. He is beautiful, ready to give himself to Mara forever until he discovers her secret. Logan Blackwood is a vampire Moira created 900 years ago. He's a Hollywood billionaire with tremendous seductive power. Even after many lifetimes now, Logan pines for Mara. Now Mara's time is running out and she must choose who will be the best father for her baby. Vampires are not supposed to be alive to have children. I'm just saying. And let's see. Darkest Craving. You know, when you go over to your bookshelf and you have Darkest Kiss and Darkest That and Darkest This and Dark and That and you don't have craving. You have all the other darkest, but you don't have the craving. Goes on the wish list. Four stars. Darkest Craving is the 10th book in the Lords of the Underworld series. See what I'm saying? When I started doing my own books, my compiling the courthouse records, I stopped buying books, and this is it's I'm paying for it now. The Darkest Craving is the 10th book in the Lords of the Underworld series, which keeps getting more satisfying. Sometimes with long-running series, characters or storylines can run the course, but with Showalter's talent, it doesn't happen. After enduring weeks of hell, Cain wants nothing to do with the half-fae woman who rescues him. As Jafrina threatens to awaken the demon within Cain, Cain fights passionately against the demon of disaster he is determined to kill. Josephina is hunted by the cruelest of enemies, her own family, and Cain is the only one who can keep her safe. Aww. Another one. I have like 20 of these books, and I don't have this one. Another one that's going on the wish list. How did these get so out of order? Oh, let's back up here. Alright, let's do this one first. Alright. Kelly Armstrong, Omens. Oh, I should write this down. Omens. 4.5 stars. Megastar Armstrong is back with the launch of her new electrifying Canesville series. This captivating, mysterious novel is about a young woman whose life is upended by dark revelations. Armstrong has created another strong female character, and her journey of self promises to be challenging and eerie. With the exception of her father's premature death, Olivia Taylor-Jones has been seemingly perfect, but all hell breaks loose when the tabloids reveal that she is adopted and her biological parents are Pamela and Todd Larson, notorious serial killers. Did she know this before it hit? That's the question. Um, Her mother flees to Europe to escape the publicity, and her fiance asks for space. So Olivia decides she needs to understand the truth of her birth parents. She goes incognito and ends up in the unusual small town of Canesville. Olivia also connects with attorney Gabriel Wash, who once represented her mother in an appeal. So he's an older man? I'm running out of room over here. I don't want to be building the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Last Blood. Kristen Painter. Four and a half stars. Painter's world of shapeshifters, vampires, and Chimeras, a special race of humans bred to feed the vampire nobility in an intricate and exciting one. Christabel is depressed and heartbroken that her love, the vampire Mal, no longer has love for her because it was devoured by a raptor fae. Mal is cold, uncaring, and out for blood, which puts him at odds with Christabel. Meanwhile, there's a war raging between the forces of dark and light, and a bigger evil facing them known as the Castus Sanguis. It will take all of their might and alliance and even a sacrifice to defeat this great evil. Someone gonna die. Um, we will be doing this series at some point during the year. Uh, I did the first two, I think, as videos. I know I did at least the first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did the first one in a video. So we'll have to go. I had intended to do them all and got sidetracked. So we'll have to come back to these. Because I just got a couple more. Chloe Neal, Biting Bad. 4 stars. The Cadogan Vampire House is about to discover just how nasty the Greenwich Poseidon of vampires can play when they are blacklisted. Neal is a rising star, and her Chicago is undergoing major upheaval, placing vampire heroine Merritt at the epicenter of the trouble. As always. Now that Ethan is back and Mallory is working on her penance and seemingly getting her magic under control, Merritt is hoping that things will settle down, but that is not to be. A GP blacklist the Cadogan House to try to isolate and break them, but that edict runs into a major complication when a new anti-vampire hate group appears and firebombs Grey House vampires. As Master of Caking Eastern offers help to the Grey House, which is sure to enrage the GP. The big question is who is behind the Clean Chicago group and how far are they willing to go? Let's see. Another one that I have. Kitty does the radio, Kitty does this, Kitty does that, Kitty saves this, Kitty. I don't have this one. Kitty in the Underworld. I'm getting pissed off that I have all of these books in this series and then I'm missing one. This got 4 stars. The fight against Roman and the long game is front and center in this thrilling new chapter in Vaughn's long-running, totally terrific series, featuring celebrity radio host Werewolf Kitty Norvell. Kitty and Ben are still adjusting to having a new master vampire in Denver when Kitty is called out to investigate an intrusion in packed territory. Shot with a tranquilizer dart, Kitty wakes up in an underground prison housed with an abandoned silver mine. Who are her captors and what do they want? She needs to find out and escape. Okay. Anyway, let's do this other one first. Let's do this one. It's a steampunk. Carney punk. Tales from some of today's leading urban fantasy writers are compiled in this collection of short stories involving carnivals. The background knowledge required for the short stories. Some are true standalones, and while other characters are a part of an author's larger series. A short story should not require a reader to invest in a whole series to fully enjoy it. That being said, the tales that successfully stand alone are dark and fun and do a delicious job in highlighting the creepy factor. It's 450 pages. In Jane Wells' The Werewife, a husband brings his wife to an otherworldly carnival in search of a cure for her condition, only to discover something worse. Rob Damon's Painted Love introduces a mysterious character who tries to stop a psychopath carnival worker from abusing a fellow carnies he's fallen in love with. Delilah S. Dawson, 3 Lives of Lydia, a young lady fond of body modification, wakes up at a frightening carnival and decides she wants to stay, only to wake up in a hospital room with tattoos and pink hair. Interesting. And we did, Jennifer, I think Rachel was in here too, right? Okay, now, if you can put your your vampire things aside, and I've said this before, and I've talked about this woman before. If you can put your vampire stuff aside, you can read her. And if you're into fashion, if you're a fashion lover, if you're into shoes, this woman is for you, because you got to do the audiobooks, because the audio person, the Milanos, the shoes. I've talked about this before to endless. Undead and unsure, 4 stars. Queen Betsy can never do things the easy way, and the unintended consequences always bite her in the butt. Having been forced to kill Devil, also known as her half-sister Laura's mother, Betsy is doggedly trying to patch up her relationship with sister Laura. Laura is none too happy, since her mother's death means she has to assume the mantle of Satan and take over hell. The good thing comes out of the previous debacle in hell, that Betsy's vampire husband Sinclair can now go out into the sunlight, which she is doing with reckless abandon. Suddenly Betsy has to be the responsible one, which is kind of frightening. And now, along with trying to get Laura to come home to a Thanksgiving 2.0 celebration and dealing with zombie Mark and an overly pregnant Jessica, Betsy feels Babylon may be showing signs of the family tendency to be unusual. Oh, okay. Now, on to a few Harlequins. And I will confess that I did not write these down. So it's going to be a touch and go here. Right, let's get the first one out of the way. So I actually have this one. Brenda Jackson, Canyon. 3 years ago, Keisha Atwood, 4 stars by the way. Keisha Atwood allowed on an unfortunate misunderstanding to come between her and sexy attorney Canyon Westmoreland. Wishing to make amends when Canyon finally meets up with Keisha again, he discovers the surprise of her life. Keisha is the mother of a 2-year-old son who is the spitting image of himself. We'll see. Now, let's see if we can find a couple more of these. I don't think this one is done. Let me see. Look at all these Harlequins. Look at all those Harlequins. I don't think Love Island is done. I'm pretty sure, because I remember looking for it and I couldn't find it. So it's not. It's not done. All right, so let's go to some of these other ones. Truly Yours got 4 stars. So let's just do that one. The others got 3. So Truly Yours. That's Truly Yours. How'd it go? There you go. We're not going to do these others because they only got 3 stars, but we'll do Truly Yours here. A 4 stars by Deborah Fletcher Mello. Daryl and Cameron Charles merged their construction and engineering skills to build a skyscraper. While a strong friendship blossoms, Daryl is thwarting advances from a crazed ex-girlfriend who tries to sabotage his new relationship. But Cameron takes matters into her own hands and makes it clear that she will not give Daryl up. Fight for your man. Let's see. Ruthless. You know, there's Harlequins for race cars, there's Harlequins for doctors, there's Harlequins for sheiks, there's Harlequins for policemen, firemen, there's Harlequins for lawyers, there's suspenseful, there's intrigue, there's vampires, there's all kinds of stuff. So let's see. 4 stars. That's good. Let's do this. Ruthless. In purple. Helen K. Demon. Cafe owner Kelsey Moore fantasizes about the man who stops in for his daily Java fix. When two men try to kidnap her, she's surprised to discover the fantasy man Paxton Weeks is her appointed bodyguard. Now, not only has he blown his cover, but he's got to keep Kelsey and his heart safe. Aww. He fallen in love. What happens between friends? Let's see. 4 stars. Back in Shady Grove to save some money until she can get back to her vagabond lifestyle. Sadie Nixon begins working for her best friend's father's construction company. But what was once a comfortable friendship with James Montesino has turned into something more since James confesses he's in love with her. Aww. Interesting. Did that one. The Courting Companion, Regina Scott. Emma Primont comes to work at the Grange of Sir Nicholas Rutherford in 1850 Derbyshire, England, to get away from her foster father. Here she is nanny to Sir Nicholas's daughter. When Emma finally comes to Nick's attention, he is intrigued, but Emma is more interested in persuading him to become a better father. Yet his desire to create safer working conditions in the mines on his land has her becoming more personally involved with him than she ever imagined. We'll see what happens there. I think that's the end of the. See, we'll just. I didn't plan on doing these, so I'll just go through these. Um, back in the, I don't know if they still exist or not, but back in the day, we had Sandheim and Eller's Cave were the two. If you wanted good ebooks, and I don't mean tablet books, I mean erotica books. So we have Eller's Cave. Those are your. My lighting is bad. Your top picks. Red Sage. I never dealt with them. Another group of naked guys on the cover. And then back in the day, we had conventions. I think I've mentioned this before, but you could go and meet your favorite author and have all kinds of seminars and conventions. It was awesome. Back in the day, they had a really good time. So that is the end of August 2013. What did you think? Was it a good one? And I'm telling you, there's some good books in this. Good valid books are still valid today. You saw that Sarah Maas one. Will you join me next week for September? We're almost finished with 2013. Good God. There's only 3 more years to go. It ends in the middle of 16. Then I've got some ideas what to do after that. We'll see what happens. Please hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out If Then's Friday afternoons and Star Trek Next Generation recaps. We're coming to the end of that one too. And of course, my continuing Flashback Monday with Naked Guy on the cover. Have a good one.